Hey guys, welcome back from the coffee break. This is Jeremy and Pat and Alex, of course. I've got my actually Dr Pepper today. What do you got, Pat? You
I
got
have
some?
water today, Jeremy. I was unprepared.
You don't have coffee from Nicaragua?
Not from Nicaragua. Today it would have been from Ethiopia,
Okay.
but it's a very
You know,
complicated name. I have the initials written on the bag. It looks like EBDBB&B, but that's not what it actually says. I don't know
EBDB
the EBDBB&B. That's
and Alex. I see your
that's their,
Alex is unprepared with no liquid to drink, but that's his choice, I
it is.
suppose.
Yeah, I just slammed a whole bottle of soda water, so
Oh,
you
oh,
know.
Oh, where did
yeah.
you get
So
this
yeah, we're
soda water? Did it come from a SodaStream Terra, the new SodaStream fancy SodaStream machine, recently released?
Uh, I'm not actually sure how recently that one's been released, but this is something that kind of caught on by surprise. But basically, what I would do, I would say almost a year and a half ago, is I would go to the Whole Foods market every single week and buy a 12 pack of, people have criticized how I say this, Topo Chico or Chico seltzer water, and I would drink it. And then I realized that's really expensive. I was spending 50 some dollars, plus every month. And so I was like, how do I do this cheaper? And my girlfriend had said way back, hey, you should get a SodaStream. You could make it yourself.
She is
So
smart, very
I got a
intelligent,
SodaStream.
Alex.
She is an intelligent lady. She keeps me on the straight and narrow. And so I picked up a SodaStream machine, and it didn't last very long. The canister. It lasts for about
Canister
60
of what?
bottles.
yeah. What are Soda Streams? First of all,
Oh,
what I mean, what?
that's a great question. So a SodaStream is a at-home soda water maker, I guess you can say. And so it's a machine that you can click a canister of carbon dioxide into. You click your bottle of water, you hit the button, and it infuses the water with the CO2. And
Okay.
hello, Shadow. And once it does that, you can add flavorings and you can make your own soda.
Alex, I'm just wondering why the cat never like walks around on the tables behind you.
Oh, yeah. That could be because they are green screen
Oh,
back
and
there.
that's a real
Yeah,
cat
yeah.
though.
Yes, this is a real cat. I don't have the cat filter to add fake cats into
Okay.
our.
Well, when's the snake gonna come and join us?
I mean, if you want to introduce people to Dorito, we could make that happen. But the snake and the cat have never met, so I don't know
Oh,
if
well, we
now's the
don't we don't
best
want to
first time for that. Yeah.
massacre on our hands or anything. So
No, no. But so the SodaStream machine allows you to make soda water at your home, and there's a couple benefits to that. One is it's cheaper than buying bottled soda like Coke and Pepsi and things like that, and the other is it's more environmentally friendly. So you're not throwing away a bunch of bottles.
right, right. Well, yeah,
All right.
I guess one thing I was wondering.
And
Oh, go ahead.
oh, and yeah, go for it.
Well,
What was
I
the
guess
question
one
here?
thing with the Soda Stream machine. I guess one thing I've always thought about is, I drink soda sometimes. Like Dr Pepper or Sprite or etc. But really, it's kind of an unhealthy habit. I feel like you buy a Soda Stream and there's a certain cost to it. It's like, well, I'm committing to this, drinking this unhealthy drink a certain amount. I'm okay with buying, cases of 24 at Costco every whatever. But is it Soda Stream? But you're saying that you could actually just make carbonated water with it. Is that what you do? Or
Yeah, so I like to drink just basically seltzer water. So it's just water and carbon dioxide, and there is no health implications to carbonated water. You may burp a little bit, but it's not going to ruin your teeth or do anything like that. What is bad about soda comes down to the acid sugars and caffeine, preservatives, all the things that are put into soda. That's the reason we love it, right?
Sure.
Actually can be detrimental to your health over the long term. But just carbonated water is just like drinking water. I just find it more interesting.
So with the SodaStream, could I make, let's just say I wanted like half calorie Dr Pepper. I guess I could make that, right? Because I'm not, or is that maybe I'm just
You could absolutely make half calorie Dr Pepper. You would just put half the syrup in it, and you could make that happen. They even sell diet syrups.
Okay.
So yeah,
Interesting.
I typically don't do the syrup route, even though you can buy actual Pepsi syrup and Coca-Cola syrup for it.
So you can get actual brand, like whatever, actual Coke, actual whatever, and actually put it in there. You don't have to use
Absolutely.
Dr. Thunder or whatever the off brand is.
Could I go raid a McDonald's
Yeah.
and take the syrup out of their Pepsi machine and use that?
You sure could. You sure could, Pat.
I bet there's a black market for
something
that.
They might, they might not like it,
Maybe.
but I feel like those people probably don't. If you could make a minimum wage, you give them enough money, maybe they throw you a whatever.
Bag of soda.
That's all. It's all quite.
Yeah.
I guess that's stealing though, so you probably shouldn't do that.
Probably shouldn't do that.
But
no.
what do you do about these CO2 canisters that run dead so fast?
Yeah, so the hardest part for me was I spent this money on the SodaStream, and now I'm spending money on replacing these CO2 canisters. And they only last for, they say 60 liters. It's more like 40 liters of soda. And that's, when you factor in the replacement cost, it's about $15 to replace one of these. And if you want to buy a new one, so you have one on hand, it's $30. So you're talking about a crazy upfront cost, and then if you work out the cost per liter of soda at $15 per swap, you come out to about 25-ish cents per liter, which is kind of the same as going to the store and buying LaCroix or
Fake
whatever
LaCroix.
other type of seltzer water.
LaCroix.
Fake LaCroix.
Store brand.
Yeah. It's just a store brand of seltzer water, but your cost is basically equivalent. Now, you are still saving the environment, but you're not really saving money. So I was thinking, how do I hook up like a bulk home brewing CO2 tank to this that will last me months? Because why not, right? It's just CO2 in, and there we go. And it turns out a lot of other people on the internet have done this. So I made a video about it because a lot of other people had made videos, but it was kind of the shaky cell phone sort of thing, and I did it right here. And when I did that, that video exploded on YouTube. And I think we're almost at 600,000 views on that first one.
Wow.
And that originally I had a we'll call it non-optimal solution, where you take the big tank and you fill a smaller paintball tank with the CO2, and then you can just put that in your soda maker. Well, it turns out the better way to do it is just to hook the big tank up to the soda maker. So I made another video on that. That started going well. And then SodaStream said, you know what? We're going to change the adapter, or the end that fits into the SodaStream, so that people that want to do this bulk thing can't do it anymore. They have to use our tank.
So what did you do?
So I said, okay.
I told him
Pat,
it's impossible.
I think there's...
You can't. I did.
You
I
did.
said this
He
makes
said
this
this
is
is gonna be
terrible
way
idea,
too hard.
Alex.
I said, you know what? The new adapter looks pretty easy to replicate. The old one is just a set of threads, but they're non-standard, obviously, because they don't want people to do this. The new one is just a smooth cylinder that kind of gets clicked into place in the machine. So I said, we'll just make a thing to go around the threads to make them smooth, put them in there, and you're good.
Oh.
That's not going to work. So the problem was the two edges that have to fit into the SodaStream are actually skinnier in width than the threads. You can see the threads actually would come up to about here, and not come up to about here. So this means that you cannot fit the old SodaStream connection, which is this threaded piece, into the new SodaStream. So third time's the charm, and what we did was we got some an O-ring assortment pack from Amazon, and we put an O-ring right here, and then we cut out a space for an O-ring on the top. When this gets pressed, you can see the space here. The air travels up, out, and allows you to use a bulk CO2 supply with your new SodaStream Terra, or I think Duo is the other one. And this is the first adapter like this on the market.
Not just with your big air tank, though. You can put the old canisters on there. Also, we tested that.
So that was a pretty serious engineering challenge. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with 3D printers and the technology we have today. Kind of like video technology. You couldn't have done. I mean, you could have done that 20 years ago, but you'd need a very, very good shop, obviously. But I mean, you went through several revisions, and this is now something that works. And are you selling this?
Yeah, so I was able to go through a couple revisions, and that's where 3D printing is great for rapid prototyping. You try something, it doesn't work, try it again, it doesn't work, and it's that kind of pursuit of Gen 5, 6, 7 to where you're actually getting a good spot there. And then I am basically just selling the material and my labor time. So I'm not, I wouldn't say that I'm selling the device itself, but the time it takes to print, the electricity that goes into that, time it takes to ship it up and ship it out, is kind of what I'm selling there. And if anybody is interested in getting the STL or the digital file for it, it is freely available if you just contact me. So you can do that, but you can also buy it on an Etsy store. So that has actually been really successful, because if you can imagine, a bunch of people want to use bulk CO2, they get gifted or they buy the new SodaStream, and all these adapters online don't work. So this allows them to translate to that.
So how many have you sold, if you don't mind me asking?
But also, how long have you been selling them for? Also,
I've been selling them for 5 days.
Oh,
and I've sold 18 of them.
That's pretty good for 5 days.
Pretty good for 5 days. So my hope is that sales continue, but there are a couple hurdles that have happened. One is ran out of O-rings.
Okay.
So I have to find a new source for O-rings. The other one is, I just had to invest in a bunch of shipping envelopes because this is something else I didn't have. And so I'm sure, Jeremy, this may be something that you are seeing in the future of your Kickstarter situation.
Alex,
I've
one
got
of
many
our,
of those,
one of
many of
our
those envelopes.
interviewees told us about a company called pirateship.com. And I think Jeremy's
I have
tried
used
it before.
them. That's good stuff.
That was Kenny, right,
from
at Cloud3?
Yep.
Big fan of his stuff. Yeah, it's funny. My dog starts barking, and then your cat comes out. So maybe there was
Maybe
maybe they're friends.
Maybe they're friends or
Frenemies.
maybe not friends. Frenemies. Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
But, yeah.
Cool. So it's on Etsy. You think about listing anywhere else, like eBay or Tindy or I don't know, AliExpress or.
Right now, I can't keep up with the orders as it is. So if I get to a point where it starts to slow down, I think I will absolutely do that. I'm also going to write a blog for Butterwhat about the whole process and design and iteration, so people can learn more if they want to, and then put out the STL for free, because I think the reality of this is that most people just want soda, and the people who want the soda may be makers, but they probably don't have all the stuff to make it happen.
Sure.
But if somebody is a maker, they have the stuff to make it happen, who am I to stop them? This is the same journey I went on. So
Sure.
I'd love to offer that up.
So is PLA, is it food safe? I mean, is that a concern with you at all?
So PLA is not food safe technically, because it's porous, right? So if water got in there and stayed in there, that could cause an issue. But as a dry piece with CO2 gas
Oh,
going through
right.
there. It just gets cold occasionally and then warms back up. But the water doesn't come back up through there and
Okay.
sit and do things. So I would not use PLA for making a plate or a bowl or something, as it can't withstand the dishwasher and cleaning it is difficult. But for fittings and stuff like that that have to do with air and CO2, it's pretty awesome.
So that is, you are using PLA with that, not ABS or whatever else. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, hopefully that's not a sore subject, but we are a
No,
we are a hard
not at
hitting
all.
podcast here. So
Oh
you know.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I wouldn't trust it. I mean, ABS is technically food safe, I think, and I would not trust a 3D printed. Yeah, I wouldn't make a 3D printed spoon because you're never going to get all the crud out of those layer lines.
The real fear with using 3D printed objects for food related stuff is not water. Water and PLA, you could drink out of a PLA water bottle every day and probably be fine. But it's with food. So think about if food or sugar or things that start life pretty easily in bacteria, you definitely want to stay away from those. I think the constant blasting of negative temperatures through the piece may negate any bacterial growth, but I could be wrong. I'm not a food science guy. I wouldn't say. So.
Okay. And do you find your YouTube whatever the YouTube video? Do you find that's pretty good marketing? I mean, I guess you don't really know, but obviously, 18 sales in 5 days. They're coming from somewhere.
I'm really impressed with Alex's views to purchases conversion rate.
Is that where your purchasers coming from? What do you think, or is it somewhere else?
The only thing that's linking to my Etsy shop is YouTube.
Well,
That's it.
there you go.
And so the conversion rate on my video is about 10%. So when 10% of people that see the thumbnail click it, and then Etsy, the sales are 75% from YouTube, and the other 25% are from what Etsy calls offsite ads, or ads they target to people that have nothing to do with Etsy. So it's basically promotion they're giving you.
Oh, that's nice of
And
them.
so they charge $3 from you
Oh.
if you get a click from that service, and you can't opt out of that service. So
Oh, well, that's not that nice.
yeah, it's not that nice. No, but a lot of people were mad at Etsy a while back when that happened. But
Seems
it's
fine, but it seems like something you should be able to opt out of if you.
I agree.
But
Yeah.
Who am I to? This isn't the rip on.
So
So what's the name of your Etsy store, Alex? How do we find it?
yeah, so I'm launching a website soon, but right now it's just CourCreate, CourCreate, and that'll be the name of a lot of my stuff going forward if you're interested. So do you have any update, Jeremy, on how things are going with the Kickstarter stuff? I'm always curious on how that journey is.
Yeah, well, thanks for asking, Alex. I understand you actually have one of the kits on the way,
Yeah.
or maybe an assembly. I'm not sure which, but yeah. So thanks again for your support. I've got the first 50 boards in, so that's pretty exciting. I've tested them out and got a few more errors than I hoped for. I think maybe 9 of them didn't work. All the lights didn't work on them. Yeah, it seems like a lot, but I was able to fix two of them that I tried to fix, and they just hadn't soldered them all the way on there. So, I'm going to try to fix that with PCBWay, make sure they can get the other ones hopefully checked in their factory before they get sent over, and then, at the very least, fix that error so it doesn't happen again. So, basically I'll send out the board only things probably right after Christmas, so that, fewer of them hopefully will get lost in the mail, and plus the postage rate's a little bit lower, so that's a good thing too. I'm still waiting on some parts. I think the keyboards and stuff got the key switches. Some of them got upgraded to combined shipping from AliExpress. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but by upgraded they mean somehow all the packages are going to come together. They're going to send them to you, and it's going to take way longer. So I saw something about one of the packages being in Orlando, which is about an hour and a half from where I live. So once, anyway, I'm making some good progress on
Chrome
it,
browser.
but it's
Just
still
adding.
kind of like hurry up and wait at this point, which is kind of tough for me. But I mean, you're right though, Alex. It's kind of like, people kind of tell you how it is, but not tell you, but kind of give you some idea, but then you do it yourself. It's like, well, I didn't. It's like it is. It is what they said, but maybe there's some things you didn't believe. Like, oh, it is a whole lot of work getting this all done, and even as an engineer, you think, okay, hate to say it, but you think, well, I'm an engineer. I'm the person that's getting all this done. I designed it. I'm the most important person having to do with this product. But then you actually do this and you realize, wow, a lot of this work is marketing it. It's getting the stuff in, you know, you just think like, well, I always wonder what purchasing agents did, but really that is a lot of work. Just all the stuff that goes into it. I'd say the engineering is, what's surprised me is that the engineering of it is actually a fairly small fraction of what goes into actually fulfilling something like this, which was eye-opening for me. Maybe a humbling experience. I worked in manufacturing before working for myself, and it's interesting because you design it and then you realize that you're kind of designing a process, which is something I'm pretty familiar with. Just maybe I put on Twitter just my bin set up. I'm like, okay, I got to get all the things here so I can set it all up. I guess there's certain things that you realize from kind of a manufacturing standpoint that kind of interesting to me. Actually sitting down and doing it, that'll be another challenge. You think me having done it once, I'll have some of the groundwork laid out for when I want to do it, another Kickstarter project, Pat?
You'll already have these bins from the last one, right? You'll know what not necessarily the same parts, but you'll know you have to put all your parts in bins. You'll know you have to get the mailers from a particular place. You'll know how to do the shipping. You'll know where to source your parts. Right. I'm sure there'll be new things in every Kickstarter, but some percentage of it will be, oh yeah, we've already figured that out in the last three.
Well, my fear is that it's like, well, I really think this is a cool project, the JC Pro Macro 2 that I'm fulfilling now, but it's like, no, well, now I have another, like, people realize that I can deliver it, when I deliver it, which will hopefully I'll get all that done correctly. But then it's like, well, what if this is the only good idea I ever have? Now I've just like wasted my Kickstarter. But hopefully I'll have something else. We'll see what kind of inspiration strikes.
We hope so. We hope so. And Alex, what I would say to you is, you don't like doing all this grunt work stuff, the boring administrative assembly, order fulfillment stuff. But what if that part was the part that replaced your day job, and then you got to do the fun stuff 60% of the time, and you had to do the order fulfillment to pay your salary?
What Pat means is you could do the fun stuff 20% of the time.
Maybe. I don't know what percentages it would be. We've gathered from interviewing enough people that's a difficult and or scary transition to make from working full-time at your job and doing other things part-time to shifting that, dropping the full-time job and going full-time at the side gig.
It's scary.
And
it's scary to make the leap, but it's like once you've done it, it's like, wow, I work for myself now. It's a weird thing. You just, oh, I'm my own boss now. You expect I don't know, I guess I just expected something, and then, you expect to have to go to work or somebody answer to, and all of a sudden, it's just not that way anymore. But you're right, no, Pat, it's a scary concept.
Yeah, and it's different for everybody. It depends on how much your side gig is how well it's already performing versus how your day job is performing versus how happy you are in your day job, how happy you are with the side gig.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables. It's going to be different for every single person.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I mean, I think with me, it got to the point where it's like, well, my side gig is almost enough to pay the bills. So I feel like I kind of had maybe an easy transition, I guess.
So where can we find you on the internet, Alex? We kind of already talked about that, but we usually put one at the end here where...
Maybe I should put this hood on.
Where do we find who first?
I don't know. Maybe I should put this hood on just so like it's obvious that we're not like that it's a different day or something.
Well, I wore the same shirt, Jeremy. Chris got me the same shirt out so that I would
you did?
Have continuity. I think. Well.
All right. So should we go ahead and
Yes, we can, Master Yoda.
So Pat, where can we find you if we wanted to find you?
Well, you can find me at my website, patshead.com. And, there's a lot of words over there. I'm also, we have a new YouTube, it's almost a year old now. We've been recording the Butter What show over on YouTube for 10 months now, maybe. And we've been doing a good job. Our traffic has been going up. I don't know if it's exciting. I don't know if our numbers are exciting, but I'm excited. And I think we're doing a good job.
That's good.
What about you, Jeremy? Where can we find you?
So yeah, you can find me at jeremyscook.com. I actually just paid to renew my website, so that's a good thing. And you can also find me on YouTube, Jeremy S. Cook, and then you can find me on Twitter at Jeremy S. Cook. And if you look up JC Pro Macro 2, that's my new, I guess like you, who knows how new it is, but it's my rotary controller thing. So if you want to buy one of these, it's pretty neat. Just turn the volume up and down, play pause songs. You can actually program it to do whatever you want, just about as far as the computer goes. So yeah, this is JC Pro Macro 2. That's kind of my thing that I'm selling these days, or not selling, but kickstarted and will be selling soon. So
he's about to be selling them, everyone.
Yeah, about to be
and
selling
I don't know
them.
what I'd do without mine. I've become addicted, Jeremy.
I'm glad to hear that. And then Alex is not here because we had some technical difficulties earlier. But Pat, do you know where we can find him?
I do know where you can find him. The best place you can find him, well, he's on YouTube, is Alexander Corville, and I'll put that up here somewhere. It'll be in the descriptions, and I mean, if you're just listening, well, you're just going to have to luck out and type that in right, or you can check the description of the podcast you're listening to. And he also has an Etsy shop called CourCreate, COUR, like his last name, COUR Create, all one word.
Okay, yeah, I see some names and I always want to pronounce them incorrectly, but that is COUR Create. Is that?
That is correct.
Right? And it's pronounced CourCreate.
CourCreate, like as if it was CORE.
But it's not.
But it's not.
So don't be offensive and mispronounce his name in your head the wrong way, even though you see it spelled COUR Create.
Yeah, well, Jeremy, I think you pronounced his name correct, or at least correctly enough earlier, Jeremy. But when it's in CourCreate, it's a very is it punny? Does this count as being punny? Or is
maybe
this not funny, but punny?
Punny? No. I don't know. But anyway, so we can find Alex at CourCreate, CourCreate.com.
No, it's on Etsy.
On Etsy.
Etsy's horrible. It's etsy.com/shop/CourCreate.
Okay.
So you'll definitely want to link. I bet Google will find it.
Okay. So if you look up CourCreate, COUR Create, you'll find Alex's shop and you can buy some SodaStream stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unlicensed. Not that's licensed by SodaStream.
We don't understand.
It's not, probably. So anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you had a good 2022 so far. And this is the Create Invent podcast, regardless of what you heard earlier on the show.
Yep, we changed the name.
All right,
sorry for the confusion.
See ya.
And when I edit this, I'm going to put all these words on the screen at the appropriate times somewhere. I mean, I don't even know where I'll be. Probably in...
You know, I went to the Orlando Maker Faire a couple weeks ago, and somebody said, "Oh, how many Jeremy Cooks are there?" I'm like, in this world, I was like, I guess just me.
Oh, you're not as lucky as me. There's, one of my alternate doppelgangers is a UFO conspiracy theorist with 2 books. I'm a comedian. I'm some sort of
and you were
singer.
president too, right?
Well, not that, maybe. But yeah, I'm really excited. I need to buy the UFO books to put on my bookshelf to It's just too bad his picture's on them. You know, it'd be great if it was, you know, I could make people believe they were mine.
Yeah, why not? Maybe you could write a UFO book and just see what happens.